appropriate. Very appropriate.
Sweating in here.
I'm bloody free for me.
Very temperatures.
Down here, it's like 35.
Yeah, it's red hot down here, isn't it?
Tomorrow's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, then here we are again, another Thursday Night Live with the lads on SCFC Fan TV. Tonight with us, we got the Mad Mistake, we got Jacob, we got Michael Bowers, and standing in for Sean and Dino this week, we've got Paul, the Mackham Tweets on Twitter, there he is, and our old friend Nathan, friend of the show down here, Mackham FC, joining us as well. Please get yourself involved in the live chat. If there's anything you would like to ask us, then stick it down there, and we'll try and answer any questions that you've got. We might as well start. Yesterday there was the Sunderland FC Twitter feed put out a teaser tomorrow. And when we got up today, it turned out to be they've released the new strip. So it's not the zigzags. And I've got to say, I wouldn't have minded the zigzags. But it looks pretty good. So I'll tell you what, we'll start with Mackham Tweets. What do you think of the new strip then?
Yeah, I love it, mate. I thought I would anyway. Nike always produce decent strips. And to me, the home top just looks exactly how I would have liked it. The zigzag thing would have been like a fuzzy telly. I couldn't have coped with that. But yeah, over the moon with it. Can't complain one bit. I'll definitely be buying one. Or I'll get someone to buy one for my birthday. So.
All right, Mad Mistake, what do you think?
I think it's one of the best ones I've seen for a long time. I'm not sure about the logo on the front, but red and white stripes on the back and front, absolutely fantastic. And that zigzag one, we all knew it only had to be a joke. Nobody is that insane to have zigzags on the top. I'm going to buy the top as soon as it comes out. It's beautiful.
Is that it then? So the zigzag. I mean, AC Milan. Is it AC Milan? Inter. One of them anyway. Have actually got the zigzag top though, haven't they?
Just looking at the zigzag picture, I felt dizzy already. So imagine at a match trying to watch that. I couldn't watch the match. I was listening to it instead.
It was a ploy for our opposition. I notice it's got stripes on the back as well, which means I'll have a nightmare trying to pick out numbers and names and stuff like that because I'm an old man with old eyes. Mackham FC, what do you reckon?
Very sexy. Love the kit.
Well, that was short and sweet. Thank you very much for that. Michael, the new strip.
Why do you always come to me after someone's actually just expertly expressed their thoughts in 2 seconds? I can't top that. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna. The one thing I'm not as keen on is the stripes on the back. That's an unpopular, controversial opinion. I actually prefer it when you've got the block on the back and you've got stripes down the bottom of the back of the shirt. Having said that, the front of the shirt, I love it. I think it, and I'm usually quite easy to please. Like what Mackham Tweet said, I'll probably because I'm a tight and skingy so and so. I'll probably just get someone to get it for my birthday or just wait till Christmas. But no, I like it. I usually like away strips better than home ones because there's more variety in what you can do with it. Overall, I'm more bothered what the team does in the kit rather than the kit itself. But I like it though. Is it Great Annual Savings? Is that the name of the sponsor on the front?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you think that's quite appropriate with Sunderland? That's probably what our approach is going to be. Great Annual Savings. Very appropriate that, but still, good shirt. Like it.
Jacob?
Nike have done us proud. I tell you, it's the best home shirt I've seen in years. Definitely going back to remind me of the Quentin Phillips days when we used to have Nike back in, was it the early 2000s? But yeah, fantastic kit. It's a shame we couldn't keep with the Children with Cancer UK sponsor. That was a fantastic sponsor of the work they do behind the scenes. But I think what our new sponsor is now, I think, fits with the style of the kit. And I do like how the way they've brought the black numbers on the back. I think it fits well with the red and white stripes. I think that's how it should be. So overall, an absolutely fantastic kit. But like Michael said, I'm looking forward to seeing what Nike produces with our away strip now.
Well, Me myself, I do like it. It's it's traditional and it says it's quite sexy. It's all right. 50 quid, can't really grumble at that. I mean, there's talk of like Man City's top being 90 quid or something like that or whatever.
Arsenal's 100.
Yeah.
That's not surprising.
I'd have preferred the numbers and the letters on the back are black. I'd prefer them sort of with a white outline so that they stood out a bit more. But yeah, it's a nice kit, and I think it's a big relief for a lot of people that it isn't actually the zigzags. I quickly want to go to the chat already. Uma Macam FC 5 question for we Philly. Why are you too nice? You should have a rant every now and again. I would pay money to see that, especially around with Michael Bowers. I don't know. It's not about being nice. I just like a lot of what I say is not necessarily even what I agree with. I just like to, if somebody brings up a topic, something like that, or an opinion, I like to question the other side of it, and then at least we get both sides of the argument. And I know people say I'm in love with Stuart Donald and stuff like that. There's a lot I don't agree with what Stuart Donald's done. However, just because I try and put another slant on it doesn't mean that me and him are going to get married and have children and stuff like that. So,
Darren's gonna have something to say about this, like.
Right. New signings then. Bailey Wright signed this week. That's happened since last week, isn't it? Which is good news for us all round. What do we think so far with the people we've got in? Jacob, do you want to start with that?
Yeah, it feels like, I mean, I put out a tweet saying since Tony Coton and Richard Hill have left the club on the recruitment side of things, the transfers have improved massively. I mean, I'm not saying it's all down to that, but it looks like what we've done this summer in terms of like bringing players in, it's going in the right direction. Like we're looking to like build. Parkinson has like a plan in place, and Bailey Wright had a massive part to play in that last season. It's a shame, obviously, he got injured in February, I think it was, so we didn't see him for those remaining games up until the lockdown. But yeah, he's a key player. I mean, there's even been talks of him potentially even being made captain for next season. He's such an important player to that squad. But hopefully we can add a few more to that as well. I mean, I'm hearing Marcus Maddison is in the northeast at the moment. I'm not sure if there's any clarity on that, but fingers crossed it's all going well on the recruitment side right now.
Mad Mistake?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think the defence is looking good with Flanagan, Wright and Willis in defence, Human 0-9. I think that so far, I think we're going to be keeping Will Grigg. I think he's going to be staying at Sunderland.
Hope so.
And I want to ask the lads after you've had your opinion on the two signings, what's your opinion on Jack Diamond? Has he got a future at Sunderland Association Football Club? I think he looks class.
Well, we'll go to that after we've done these. Macam tweets, our new signings so far.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it, to be honest with you, especially Bailey Wright. I loved the way Sunderland and Bailey Wright announced it to us, like it was a bit of a prank, like we thought it was all over and done with, he wasn't going to come. And then right at the end, it gave us something to cheer about. I was absolutely over the moon. I think he was brilliant last season, and I think it'll be good this season. I agree with what Jacob said about maybe making him captain. So I think he's got that about him, and he would be good. He would be a good captain. As for Aidan O'Brien, I don't really know a lot about him. Same with Jack Diamond, don't really know a lot about him. But going off his goal scoring record, it's not amazing, but he was playing regularly in the Championship. So in League One, I'm sure he could do a good job for us. So as long as he gets some support from the rest of the team, because I think that was a little bit Will Grigg's problem. We didn't really play to his style. So we're going to have to pick a striker and pick a style and go with it, in my opinion.
Macam FC?
I think Bailey Wright's a fantastic sign. He was brilliant last season. He massively improved the defence, and I think it was probably he's the best defender in League One by a mile. He's probably even a good Championship defender as well, when you're getting further towards the top.
Michael, what do you reckon?
I think like a lot of, I don't think there's any single Sunderland fan who wasn't happy with the signing of Bailey Wright. I will point out, and he probably will be watching this, but I hate you, Oscar Chamberlain, for the way that you actually had that clip, because I went through anger to ecstasy in the space of 30 seconds. which was actually really annoying. But in saying that, yeah, Bailey Wright was one that for me, if we're going to have any ambition of going into the top two, and that's got to be the aim. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That's the aim for next season. Top two, Bailey Wright had to be signed, and the way that all the others have said it, when Bailey Wright did play, even if it was only 5 games, we kept 4 clean sheets in those 5 games, and the basic things he does, organising people, making sure they're in the right positions, and just marshalling the defence. And I think, like Nathan said, I think Bailey Wright is definitely one of the best defenders in the league, if not the best, truth be told. And I agree, the championship level standard player, like with Aidan O'Brien, apparently, and he's played a lot in the championship. I don't want us to stop here, though. Obviously, like Jake mentioned Marcus Maddison earlier, I've got a question that kind of relates to that, but later on. But these are the type of signs we need to be making. We need to be signing mid-table championship players, ideally, or at the very worst, top 2 League One standard players. So Bailey Wright coming back, huge thing. I'd like to see us sign one more centre half, assuming that Brandon Taylor is going to be in the picture, in the first team picture, because if we get one, especially if we're playing with 3 at the back, if you're going to have one injury to that system, then you're going to have to change a lot of things. Get one more centre half, and assuming Taylor's involved, defensively, and get a left back, I think defensively we're sorted. Then we just need to address the attacking scenario. But whatever signings we make coming up, I want it to be the same standard as what we've seen so far.
Nice one. Well, as the Mad Mistake mentioned, well, first of all, congratulations to Harrogate Town, who got
Great
promoted, and with the help of Jack Diamond. So, as the Mad Mistake said, is it possible he would have a future with us at Sunderland, or would he still need more time to develop? Want to start us off with that, Mackem Tweets? Oh, go on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mad Mistake.
Well, he's only 20 years of age, and he did spend the season before at Spennymoor, and he was a standout at Spennymoor, and he must have been only about 19, and he didn't seem a very big lad at that time, but he's filled out with Harrogate. I know he's been in the gym every day, but he looks like he's really filled out, bulked out. So he's definitely come on again this season in the conference. Now it's a step up to League One, I know, but he's only 20 years old, and if he's improving, he looks quite speedy. What I saw at the weekend, so he could definitely be a player for the bench for me, like.
Mackem Tweets.
Yeah, I think it would be unfair for me to really give him any sort of review based on what I know of him. But if he's doing well in that league, then in our scouts or whatever it is think that he's doing a good enough job, then maybe it is worth bringing to the club. Maybe if it is for the future, or being on the bench for the odd game, play him in the cup game, see how he gets on for this season. So yeah, I'd be happy to give him a shot. There's definitely no reason why we shouldn't be getting youngsters through, especially through our own academy, hopefully one day.
Jacob?
Yeah, I watched him first watched him in the 2018-19 season, a few of the Checkatrade games. Like, he's not afraid to take people on. Like, he's a great runner of the ball. Like, he likes to dribble past people. Sometimes, like, he likes to hang on to it a little bit too long. But I'm sure now, I mean, I don't know if you've seen that picture of him, like, with comparing the difference when he was in our academy and what he was like playing for Harrogate Town with all the muscle he's put on. I mean, he looks one hell of a player now. And, like, that's what you need in League One, like a little bit of physicality. And 20 years of age, like for a young English player, that's like an age where they're at their prime now, if you compare a lot of young talented players in this country. So yeah, I'd take him back. He could be like just what we need going into next season, especially in like the latter stages of the season where tiredness kicks in. We do need a lot of youth and energy and pace in that squad, something that let us down in that Jack Ross season towards the end, where too many fringe players who had the experience but didn't have the energy to carry on. So I think that could be like a massive factor if we bring him back for next season.
Michael?
Definitely. I think with Jack with Jack Diamond, I was going to say Jack Harrogate there for some reason. With Jack Diamond, that's definitely, he's at the age now where he needs to start playing games. If we don't think he's quite good enough to come up to League One yet, then I think it's worth loaning him out to Harrogate again, I think, because they're in League Two. I think if you're not going to play him now in League One, League Two's got to be the level he's got to be looking at. But fair play to him. It looks like he's trying to beat Adiak and Fenway at this point. The muscle that he's absolutely on, like it's ridiculous. But I think Jacob, personally, when I use him, I would use him as part of the squad. And I think again, sometimes in late on in games, it would be great to have Jack Diamond come off the bench if he's good enough, because opposition teams won't have scouted him as much. They won't know much about him. So yeah, fair play to him. Fair play to him for stepping up to the level he has. You know, we've let enough of our youth go. So you know, why not use him? Why not use him?
Mackem FC, Jack Diamond.
I'd play him. Get him in the bench around the starting 11. That's what I'd do, because we've seen like our youth talent goes. It's when they're not getting the chances and they're just sort of getting loaned out to these other clubs, they'll go for other teams. Look at Bali Mumba. So if we get him in there, get him a few games, he'll probably stay.
Right, is that everybody covered on that? It is. Right, on the chat, just very quickly, a couple of people. I want to give a shout out, first of all, to One Rovers Vlogs, who's tuned in, Blackburn Rovers fan. So thanks for tuning in to that. Thomas Garrigan, Madison changed his location to Durham Medical tomorrow. This is probably all just rumours flying about. Knightsea, Madison to sign tomorrow. It's just whether it carries any substance or not. We all know he's got family up here, so people say they've seen him in the area and stuff like that. But it would be nice. Michael?
Well, that's what I was going to. Well, obviously, I've said to Phil, I've got a two-part question from the second bit you can ask later if you want, but it's from Danny Watson at Danny SCFC73. So I might have got the handle wrong, mate, but I apologize if I have. The first part of the first question of the two that I received was, will SCFC realistically sign Marcus Maddison? So anybody kick it? Mackem tweets, what do you think? Do you think we'd realistically sign Marcus Maddison?
Well, if he's supposedly a Sunderland fan from being a kid or whatever, then, I mean, for me personally, I know it's different when you're just a fan, but you think, yeah, I definitely want to play for Sunderland. Obviously, it's going to boil down to money, wages, whether the club can pay it, want to pay it, if they think it's worth it. I would love to have him at the club, but I don't believe anything with Sunderland until it's actually there, until it's being on paper, black and white. You can't deny it. There's just too many rumours about Marcus Maddison. There has been for seasons now. But I would love it for him to come.
Bill?
I've wanted him to come for the past season and a bit, really. I do question though his temperament. I mean, he can be a bit of a wind-up merchant as well, and there has been stories of him being unruly, if you like. I'd love to get him. It's a free transfer. I think people like him, we should be grasping with both hands, get him in. It'd be a massive boost for us. I think it would be a big lift for the fans and everything. I think he'd do well for us. It's a no-brainer for me. But it's Sunderland, in it. So, we should have bought him when they needed a fee for him. But here we are. There you go. He's on a free now, and I'd love to think we could get him, but who knows?
Mackem FC, what do you think?
Well, I've seen pictures of him up in the area with his daughter as well, so that would be a sign that he probably is looking to sort of come up here and play for Sunderland. Hopefully, we've been in contact with him and getting a contract agreed.
Fair enough. Short and sweet again. Jacob?
Yeah, fantastic player. Great set piece capabilities as well. I mean, I don't know if you remember that goal he scored against us for Peterborough last season. Absolutely cannon that free kick in. I do get what Phil's saying though about his temperament at times. I think in certain games I've watched him, if he was playing for us, like the club he's loved as a boy, like he is a bit hot-headed at times. You just wonder if like he might dive into a few more extra tackles, which potentially like could get him like red cards in like dangerous periods in games. But it always is a good bonus when you do have a player that just loves the club through thick and thin. But when it comes to Sunderland Football Club transfers and the stuff you see on social media, it doesn't go well. I mean, I don't know if you remember the Jan Envia incident of him being stuck at the airport in 2016. Yeah, it's not a good mix. I mean, I wouldn't believe everything that you read and see so far, but it's all good signs. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get him because he's a great player to have in that league. But right now it's 50-50. I mean, but I do think there are like alternatives if we don't get him out there as well, like Scott Fraser, who we've been linked with as well.
Fair enough. So Terry, would it be a mad mistake to get him, or would you be back?
See, this is my take on this. If Stuart Donald hadn't found a owner, a new buyer at this moment in time, I don't think he would have brought Bailey Wright in. Now, if he's got somebody with cash, somebody with a lot of money, a lot of backing, who's going to come in to take over Sunderland, will sign Marcus Maddison tomorrow or the next few days. That may is the key issue. If Maddison comes to the club next couple of days, we're getting somebody in here who's going to own the club with some cash and hard money. If he doesn't come, then I'm not quite sure. But I don't think we would have gotten O'Brien. We wouldn't have gotten Wright in. And we definitely wouldn't have gotten Marcus Maddison if Stuart Donald had nobody lined up. So I think it's a no-brainer. We need someone with passion, somebody who loves the club. We need somebody to drive the rest of the team on. At this moment in time, we're a bit powder puff in the centre of midfield. We need someone with a bit of spark, someone who's going to get the players up for the match. And I think Marcus Maddison will be a great fit.
Powder puff girls. That's the thing. Like for me, like I get the issue about the temperament and everything, but for me, I think if Maddison's playing for the club that he's, if this is true that he had supported, so he's a Sunderland fan, I think it's different when you're playing for your own club as to playing for, supposed to playing for someone else. And I think Maddison, we all know that, you know, for me, one of the big problems Sunderland have had since we've dropped into League One is that some of our players can't handle playing for a club the size of us and can't handle playing at the Stadium of Light in particular. Now, this is just, I might be talking rubbish here. I don't know. There might be nothing in this. I think if Maddison did come, I think he'd love it. I think he would absolutely thrive of playing in an environment like the Stadium of Light. I think that you've just got to look at the play. You just got to look at the quality he's got as a player. I know he didn't do Hull. And he scored 1 goal in something like 7 or 8 appearances, but I just think for me, I can understand completely why we didn't pay $2.5 million. I think it was the actually release clause. But now he's available for free. I know there's going to be agents' fees and signing on fees and wages, but for me, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. At least not go for him considerably. And like what Mistake said earlier, like Will Grigg, for example, that could help him do well. We never know.
Mad Mistake, you want in?
For me, if Marcus Maddison signs for Sunderland, we're going to win the league.
By
Bold
Easter.
statement. Yeah,
Right.
hope by Easter.
Yeah.
Hope by
Easter. I've got one for Michael. If Maddison does come in, if Parkinson plays like the same sort of system we were playing towards the back end of like that 3-4-3, although he could play a number 10 in behind that, what would be Maddison's best position? Like, would you have to tweak the formation to fit him in, or would you play him just in behind the strikers?
I think you could possibly play him as part of the front three. I think because I think he's 10.
Who would you take out?
Well, who's in the front three at the minute?
Gooch, depending on what striker that will be in there, and Maguire.
Okay, for me, I would take Gooch out. I think Gooch's work rate is almost second. I think I've said this before many times. I think Gooch's work rate is almost second to none in the team. And I think if you brought Gooch off the bench, for example, I think he would be a really, really rapid player to use in the last stages of the game. For me, I would use it's just as a wild example. If you had Maguire, Maddison, and Will Grigg or Aidan O'Brien, Parkinson for some reason loves to suck off Charlie White by the looks of it. But if you're going to play, well, yeah, tell us I'm wrong. Unfortunately, like I said, I've said before, White has a lot of effort in his locker, but unfortunately, I just think he's garbage. I don't think he's good enough. If you had Will Grigg or Aidan O'Brien with Maguire or Maddison either side of him, I think that'd be one of the best front threes in the league. Obviously, if you can get them playing properly, and Gooch, I think, would be someone who could come off the pitch and do well. But Gooch's game intelligence needs to improve. I think that there's so many times. Like I can't remember whoever it was said Jack Diamond. I think it might have been Jacob saying there's periods where Jack Diamond likes to hold on to the ball for too long. That's Gooch to a T. That is not. He's scored goals. It's good options to have. You need to have these dilemmas. Maddison, if you're going to stick with the same system, Maddison should be one of the front three for me. I think you could like that.
I've got to admit, so I like the way the Mad Mistake thinks about these players coming in. Points to the fact that there's a good chance that this sale's going to go through, the sale of the club. So hopefully, and it's been very quiet, but of course there's that non-disclosure agreement. So I mean, we're all dying to know who it is, but as yet, no news is good news. Onto the chat quickly. 1x Manoni has heard that a player is in for a medical tomorrow at Sunderland. Again, could all be rumours, but could that be the link with Madison being in the area and stuff like that? That would be nice. Giaccherini, who's on the YouTube channels as well. If you've not seen his channel, go and have a look at that.
Yeah.
What colour do we think the away kit's going to be? Or more to the point, what colour kit would you like the away kit to be? What colour would you like it to be? Mad Mistake, do you want to start?
Oh, I like black and I like blue, but I'll have to see. I'm not really bothered, to be fair. I'm not too bothered about the away kit. As long as it's not pink, it's all right.
Magam FC?
I'm like Terry, like I like black and blue. That's my favourite away kit ever. But I wouldn't mind a nice white one, like.
Yeah. Magam Tweets?
Yeah, I took a screenshot of one that was going around Twitter, like a concept idea that I absolutely loved. It is the blue one. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I'll try and show you. But
Oh,
I've
yeah.
seen-
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
Good.
That is
modern
very
job.
nice.
yeah, I'd absolutely love something like that. I'd buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that is very nice. I like that a lot. I mean, I must admit, one of my favorite strips. Well, a few of my favorite away strips have been white. I do like the white stuff. That just sounds so wrong. Jacob,
We all like a bit of white stuff. We all do.
glass of milk. I'm in a glass of
Enough,
milk.
enough. I'm a big fan of my favourite Sunderland away kit is the 2014 Bright Yellow Bidfest. I'd like us to go back to something like that. It just whenever we play in Bright Yellow, it just reminds us of some of our players that they could potentially play.
Bananas.
I just really like Bright Yellow as an away strip. I just think it's a brilliant colour, although it might be a bit bad in like the sunlight and stuff. But yeah, it's my favourite colour for an away top.
Michael?
Hang on, do you think maybe in games we'll have a bright yellow strip that the referee in blinding sunlight will miss our players when they make fouls and tackles and everything, and we might get an advantage of the games?
There you go.
Get the yellow strip in, lads. Up the yellow strip. I liked the concept that Mac and Tweets came up with, except that I'm fussy with collars. I much prefer strips without collars in them, like the actual like collars around them, the top, the neck holes. But I like that one. I think there's someone like a navy blue or dark blue. You never know, we might release a third kit. I have no idea. If we have a third kit, I wouldn't be objecting to like one that like a white, like the white design of the kit.
Nothing
yeah,
will beat
I
this.
guess I'm more bothered about, and I'm more bothered about, like I said, more bothered how the team performs in it. But I would quite like a navy blue one.
Mad Mistake, you want to get in?
Yeah, I just want to ask we fully one question. When you were a DJ, was your favourite song you played White Lines?
Oh,
Oh my god!
never heard of it.
Oh, composure.
Could this player signing tomorrow be Luke Garbutt? I've heard a few rumours about Luke
Yeah, I
Garbutt.
think it will be.
Yeah.
Could well be. I mean,
Yeah,
it's nice to see, actually. It's nice to see Sunderland actually doing something early on and not leaving it till the last minute for once. So that's pretty good. Lewis Foster mentions when we was on about the zigzag strip, was saying hopefully Watmore would zigzag instead of just running into the billboards, which is what he tends to do a lot. We did put questions out on the Twitter this week as well for anybody who wanted to get involved if they weren't on the chat. Stu Helens has brought up the Will Grigg thing again. Will Grigg, yes or no for this season? Malcolm Tweets?
Oh, I think he's had too many chances, to be honest with you. I mean, he's had at least 2 full seasons now, isn't it? He's had
18 months.
Season and a
18
half.
months.
This is, yeah.
I don't know. I think he's still definitely good enough to have in the squad, but unless he's showing like amazing stuff during training and pre-season, then I don't know. I'll probably leave him out. Depends who we get in. If we get Marcus Madison, he's obviously going to start ahead of him. But I don't know. He's had far too many chances, I think.
Magam FC.
Why?
Magam
18
mistake.
months. 18 months, 4 goals. He's not good enough. I would have done better than that. Get rid of him.
Shut up. We've seen you play, man. You played in our five-a-side and you were dreadful.
Yeah, but I did wipe out Leilani though.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what you
So-
tried to do. You just tried to wipe out half of Newcastle fans' TV.
Yeah, you need
All right.
They
Jacob,
cut them off. They cut them off.
more Kevin Ball, I'd say.
Wouldn't be short of drama, would it?
I don't know, it could be depending on if the right players, like creative players, are brought in behind him, he could start scoring goals again. I don't know. There was a few pictures I've seen of like the players returning to pre-season training. I don't know what you guys think. It looks like he's lost weight from like a few pictures I've seen, which is always a good sign. Like potentially we could see at the start of the season Grigg doing a lot more running onto those loose balls, because normally it works better with Grigg, like in that Wigan season he had before Euro 2016 when he was called up. Most of the goals he scored that season were when the ball was played to his feet, like having his back to goal and then like finishing it wonderfully. But I think the way how we play, I think Parkinson now will look to build the team around a lot of counter-attacking and a lot of pace in the side. So whether Will Grigg might change the way how he plays for that, I'm not so sure, but I still think he could be a key part of the squad next year. I really want him to succeed. I really do.
Mad Mistake, what do you reckon?
Well, I reckon we're not going to keep, obviously just getting O'Brien in. So we're not going to keep Charlie Wyke and Will Grigg. I think there'll be another striker coming in at some point. So I'm hoping we're going to keep Grigg and get rid of Wyke. But I think Grigg's got a lot more to offer than he's being given. If he's a lot more settled this season, if his mind's focused and he's actually here because he wants to be here, then I think he'll do a better job. But if he's obviously, I think if he didn't want to be here, he would approach the manager and the manager would get rid of him. So if he's here at the start of the season, here because he wants to be here and he's got a lot to prove, and you don't become a bad striker overnight. And if I was in his position, I'd want to prove everybody that I can actually score goals. So I think if he's here at the start of the season, I think we should start him.
Michael?
Likewise, what everyone else said. I think it depends. A big thing is if Grigg's actually going to bother to move to the northeast. If he has, then that's a starting point. Secondly, I've seen the picture Jacob's gone on about, and I do think Grigg looks like he's lost a bit of weight. I know it's a bit much coming from me, but he looks like he has lost a bit of weight. That's a good sign as well. And it depends. If we're going to parts of the games towards the second, before the season have pretty much ended, there were games where Sunderland were actually pressing the opposition quite a lot. And if Will Grigg can actually get himself as the main striker in that team, if Parkinson did have, wasn't there a quote from Parkinson saying something like, Will Grigg could actually suit this because we do create more chances now because we're pressing more from the front. And the more you press teams, the more mistakes the opposition makes and the more chances you get. Now, Grigg has to show for me that he's got the fight and desire to want to play for Sunderland. And I don't care. And he can say, he wanted to stay at Wigan. I don't get, with all due respect, Sunderland should be a much bigger club than Wigan Athletic. Wigan obviously are going to, if we can keep their players, they'll be there, no doubt. But Grigg's got to show that he wants it. And we've got to show, and if we can get Grigg, without the pun here, if we can get Grigg firing on all cylinders, then he'll score goals, and I think it would instantly increase chances of going up. So I would give him I would do what Mad Mistake said: sell Wyke and keep Grigg, because I think Grigg could still have something to offer.
And would you start Grigg ahead of Marcus Maddison if we got him?
Well, it depends. Grigg's an out striker. Grig's an out striker, whereas I see Marcus Maddison as like a winger or like sort of a wide forward or sort of a cam position. So I would have, like I said, I would have a front. If it was up to me, I'd have a front three of Maguire, O'Brien / Grigg and Maddison if we sign him.
Yeah, well, it's a definite yes for me. Like with Will Grigg, without a doubt. I just think, all it takes is if in the first 2 or 3 games he banks some in, I think we're flying, and it'll be like a brand new signing for us, because because he's done absolutely nothing. Mam Treats trying to get in there.
Yeah, do you think Grigg might start the season better if there is no fans in the ground? Do you think that pressure sort of taken off him a bit more?
But with that, even if he does, it's still sort of like disappointing, really. You don't want to see that in a footballer, the fact that you're playing well with nobody there.
Yeah.
Hang on a sec. Mad Mistake, are you just getting your own in there?
Oh, strong.
Just
Yeah.
getting your own. All right. Don't worry about us. We're all right.
Cheers.
Product placement.
I
Fine.
need a refill.
As any of you, I've ran 6 miles a day. I deserve this.
You do. You do.
Went for a
I've
kickabout
I've
with the
driven further than that. Look quickly on the chat, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Tabanonso de what? Something like that. Anyway, how many hats does the how many hats does the Mad Mistake own?
Yeah, we're there.
Oh, here we go.
Good tape for the rest of the whole live stream.
All right.
Probably
Meanwhile,
about 10.
about 10. Right.
Oh, fair
And he'll have them on, all of them on before the end.
I need some more. Phil.
All right, just some quickies on the chat down here. Liam SAFC, did anyone here on BBC Newcastle that there could be some people from the Middle East interested in Sunderland? And then he goes on to say Q8.
Yeah.
Anybody, any news on that? Because I've not heard nothing like that.
Nick Barnes provided some I think it was Nick Barnes on the radio. He was like, I think he right now has to be very careful about what he says because he doesn't want any disruption in the process. He's given very small snippets of rumours to sort of keep the fans on side at this moment in time. But with new potentially, is it Q8? They're potentially.
That's what they're saying.
The only downside, we've seen this happen. I don't know if you remember, was it with Nottingham Forest when they got a Q80 owner and it claimed he had all this money left, right, and centre, and it turned out that he was getting money from other businesses, and the club almost went completely down the wrong road financially. So hopefully it's not like that, but football has changed financially since that incident happened with Notts Forest. So yeah, it's all positive signs at the moment, and hopefully this Q80 owner, if the rumours are true, he'll have a lot of cash behind him.
All right, then we got a question in on the social media from Tyler Graham saying, if there is to be a new captain this season, who's the number one choice? I know we sort of touched on it a little bit earlier. Mad Mistake?
No brainer, Bailey Wright all day long. Born leader.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Malcolm tweets, same for you.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier on. Definitely, I'd start.
Nobody else in the picture then. Just.
I don't think Max Power is good enough for it. To be honest with you, I don't know. No, I would just pick Bailey Wright. To be honest with you.
Malcolm FC.
Yeah, the same, Bailey Wright. Can't say anybody else.
Nathan, you're a man of many words. You are. Jacob.
I can obviously I said Bailey. I wouldn't say he's ready just yet. Potentially, I would like to see Chris Maguire. I think he really galvanizes the team, especially late on in games, to really roll the sleeves, put the tackles in, and give that extra mile. And I think that he's been at the club slightly longer as well. I think he knows what it means to touch more. But I think Wright's on the right track to being a captain in the future. I mean, Bailey Wright, I remember when we signed him, that clip that went viral through Sunderland's Twitter newsfeed. It was him playing for Bristol City, where he absolutely clattered a centre forward in midair. It went for a second, but honestly, if you haven't seen it, go and check out. It's absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I can understand why fans would like to see Wright as captain. He seems like one of those players that really does understand what it means to play for this club. But potentially, if the captaincy is taken off Max Power, that could also be a good point as well, because normally when you do have the captaincy, you do have a lot of weight on your shoulders and your form normally drops. So potentially, if that happens to Power, we could see a little bit more of him next season with less pressure on his shoulders, but only time will tell.
Michael?
Well, a couple of things. Well, obviously, for me, I think Bailey Wright should be captain. If not him, then Gordon Willis, because for them, Willis was captain of Coventry, I think. And the second thing is, Phil, do you mind if I ask the second question from Danny Watson?
You can. Oh yeah, go on, and then we'll do this. We'll do this next. Go on then.
Okay, right, go on then. The next one he asked was, and I probably worded it wrong, but he said, obviously we know about the group that was apparently has got this exclusivity period with Donald or whoever it is. But Danny had asked, do you think that it's FFP basically? Do you think FFP have a chance of do you think FFP are going to take over Sunderland? So anybody start?
I'll start with it if you like. It's
Go.
it does point to that that thing of what came out about due diligence has already been done. It's not really a problem. So, and I think it was Nick Barnes who was then hinting at the fact that because of that, it's the likelihood is it is somebody who's already been involved with the club, and they would certainly be one of those people. It's anybody's guess.
Yeah.
I'd look, you know, if you're saying, would you like it to be? Of course, I would. I would love it to be them. But it's anybody's guess for me.
Yeah,
Malcolm Tweets, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I agree. You really need a crystal ball, really. Going off the due diligence thing, yeah, it was either going to be them or is it Santori's father-in-law, potentially somebody that's. Yeah, I mean, either of them I'd be obviously over the moon with. They should have some money to spend at least, but I don't know. I just, like I said earlier on, until it's done, I don't believe anything. There's so many rumours come on, especially on Twitter, they're complete and utter rubbish. So I just have no idea.
Mad mistake.
I don't think it's the Americans. I really don't. I think I don't know. Something inside us says it's not them. I just got a good feeling it's not them. I have no idea who it could be. I'm not even going to speculate or guess. I'll just wait if it comes out. I do hope it's the Americans. Mine, that would be it. I mean, I'll be over the moon. And I don't want to build my hopes up, so I'm going to say no, it's not the Americans 100% because I'm always wrong.
Sorry, what was it? You come to me there.
Yeah, we came to you. Don't worry. It's all right.
Yeah, sorry, my sounds a bit. I feel with the FFP, if it would have been done by now, if it was done. So I think that at the moment looks like it's going to be moved aside. But I'm kind of happy that right now there's like no indication at all of who exactly it is, because that will only disrupt the process of it being done. So as long as things are kept like massively under wraps right now, and like financial discussions are taking place privately, that's only signs of good things to come, fingers crossed, because like we need this deal done before the start of the season.
Malcolm FC, do you think it could be FFP? That rhymes, doesn't it?
I think it could be, because you wouldn't invest £10 million like they did. What was it, in January or December time? If you're not going to go out and buy the club, if you're not investing in it, it just doesn't sit right with me, that part of it. So it could be them, but I'm glad it's been kept secret, because we don't want to end up like them lot up the road where we've got Saudi flags and the banners and everything. We don't want to end up like that.
Michael?
I was going to say, apologies that it's FPP. I keep saying FFP for some reason. But anyway, I think, what I would like to know, I don't know what you guys think of this, what I would like to know, I'd love to know why FPP, again, FPP, I would love to know what their side of it was. You know, when they were supposed to be taking over the club at the start of last season, they've not once come out and spoke about it. They've not once come out and said anything whatsoever with regard to what their plan was for the club. Was it a takeover? Was it a loan? Was it just investment? Was it any of that? So, you know, I know they're not going to come out and say anything right now if it is, but like that was just one of the things that I was wanting to point out.
But the thing is, Michael, that's probably a good thing, and that's where you know, our current owners have probably slipped up, and you know, we'll probably never know. And like I say, it's probably a good thing, because what does it actually achieve if they come out and say, this is what we wanted and this is what we wanted to do, but because of this didn't happen? It's not going to achieve anything. So why would you need to say anything? Sorry, Michael. Malcolm Tweets wants in quickly.
No, that's fine. Go for it.
Yeah, just this about like, for me, I was going to ask, as one of the questions I was going to ask if I wasn't on the show. I said in my previous last time I was on here that you can't blame the fans for people not buying the club and whatnot. But in recent weeks, I've been watching the way some of the fans react on Twitter to potential players that they don't like, potential owners, and some of it is absolutely disgusting, the way they talk. I just don't agree with it one bit, and I'm just wondering whether, I know I said last time you can't blame the fans, but do you think the fans are having, like, if FPP do want to buy it and they came out and openly said, yeah, we want to buy it, and some people don't like that, they're going to be trying to find their Instagram accounts, their Twitter accounts, their email addresses, and send them God knows what. So do you think in some way the fans do have some kind of responsibility?
Well, me personally, yes, I do think it's a big thing. However, I don't think we're any different to any other club, any other football club. You know, there's fans like that. It would happen at whatever club. I know. You know, there is a lot more passion up in the northeast, and that. So, you know, maybe it is a little bit more fierce, if you like. But I think it would go on more or less at any club. Mad Mistake. What do you think? You're not
That was-
sending me one of those love texts again, are you?
Of course he is.
What are you talking about?
Oh, it's just come through. That's all.
Oi, oi.
Have you got
Picture.
Zoom on it?
I
Have you
didn't
got
realize
Zoom
the
on?
picture. Whoa.
There's
Oh,
definitely the
what are you
picture
doing?
on that.
I'm just
Oh.
asking
Aubergine.
for them white lines for me later on.
Putting your order in.
Actually, I want to ask you all a question myself. If at this moment in time you could get rid of one Sunderland player, which Sunderland player would you get rid of tomorrow?
Connor.
What?
Connor.
Connor.
He means Conor McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Oh,
Yeah.
Connor McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Charlie Wyke.
Do I really have to pick? I'd
Yes.
get
Yes.
rid of both of them. Okay, Charlie Wyke.
Conor
Not
Bro-
Connor Bowers.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Conor
Michael
Bowers.
McLaughlin, I think it was. No, nah. I think Charlie Wyke takes the cake for me. Just.
I thought we were doing Macam Tweets' question.
Yeah, go on then. All right. Oh, sorry, Jacob. Jacob's got
Yes,
a cracking answer here. Go on then.
Get it, okay. Yeah, I do understand what he's saying a little bit. I mean, I'll touch upon when the whole like Donald thing broke out with like a lot of the fans didn't want him there anymore. What I can't stand and what I detest is when like members of his family get drawn into it. I mean, like there was talk of like I think his son on Twitter was targeted by like awful tweets, which that is completely unacceptable. But I think it shows just like the magnitude and the size of our club and like the passion of our supporters. And to think this is a club that's only in League One, think of what it would be like if it was in the Premier League. It's absolutely huge. But I think right now, I think the way how football clubs are run with like pressures through social media, it's a completely different time compared to you look at when big takeovers happened at Chelsea and Man City with Roman Abramovich and the Far Eastern owners there. It's just now I wouldn't say they have to be prepared for that, but I would say they have to like find ways to like work around that to come to the right solution. And yeah, but the way how some of our fans have reacted, I don't know. This is what I don't get. I don't know how they get where they get these rumors from. Personally, like at least back up your point. But obviously, they're not going to say how they did that, aren't they?
No, they've got like a friend that works at the Academy of Light who knows somebody else here. It's just
Is that their word though?
But that's
Yeah, that's exactly.
and that's the problem, because somebody says that and then one wants to believe it. It's just like newspaper headlines. You know, people will read the headline and not read the story. So, Mad Mistake, you want to be in there?
Look, I believe that the new one has come in. They shouldn't be on social media at all. They should keep the distance, keep themselves to themselves. Go through the channels. You have your fan liaison officers. Let them put out the tweets. Let them take control of the social media. The owners themselves. I mean, I don't see. I have it wrong completely, but Roman Abramovich, has he got his Twitter account on? I can't imagine that happening. So I think owners should just run the club through the right channels and stay off social media altogether. And these people who own clubs like Roman Abramovich, they don't care about what people say on social media. They don't even look into social media. They're not even bothered. That there is just nothing at all to them. They have their own life to live and they run their businesses. They don't care about the social media side of things. That's the way the owner should be for me.
Right. Well, very quickly then. One Rovers Vlogs is saying that if they can keep Clark Harris, they'll have a chance of promotion, he reckons. Now, this may sound a little bit arrogant, but what about us buying Clark Harris? anybody think that he would be a good buy? Anybody want to jump in on that?
I'd
Yes.
take him. Yeah, he's
I think-
very quick, isn't he, Michael?
Yeah, well, I think he's
Yeah.
got pace. He's got. I mean, I know we're going to argue it's one game, but when I went to Bristol Rovers back in March, he terrorised our back line completely. And I was amazed Bristol Rovers didn't use more of him when they came up the Stadium of Light. Actually, for me, I'll ask one Rovers vlog who's watching this. Do you fancy a swap deal? Do you fancy taking Charlie White and we take Clark Harris? Even though
That would suit them. The way
Yeah,
how
Charlie White's brilliant. One Rovers vlogs,
Yeah.
if you want to.
Take White. You know that Clark Harris is someone I think. If I'll tell you what, how would you guys think about this? If O'Brien, Clark Harris, and Will Grigg were our forwards for next year, would you be happy with that, or happy enough?
Yeah.
I would be.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, I'm still a bit doubtful about Greg, but yeah, I would be happy with that, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it looks on the chat. It looks like most people are going for Charlie White is the one you would get rid of. Greg's been mentioned, Dobson's been mentioned, but it seems to be Charlie White is the one. McGeady, somebody's jumped in with there as well. But it's looking like Charlie White is the one people would jump on first to get rid of. Mad mistake?
I think I'd rather take Matthew Godden than Clark Harris, personally. That's just my opinion. Matt Godden, I can't see Matt Godden being any good in the championship for Coventry. I don't know if he's already left Coventry or is he still at Coventry. I'm not quite sure, but I'd rather take him than Clark Harris.
He's not going to come here, though, is he? Really?
No,
He's just
the
got a chance of being
wages will be a problem.
I'd take him. I just don't think he's gonna. He's not. He wouldn't think, right, why should I go to one when I've just got promoted to the championship? You know.
Yeah, but he's only played for Ebbsfleet, Stevenage, Peterborough, and Coventry, and he's 28-year-old. I don't think he's good enough for the championship.
Which I would argue Jamie Vardy was in that position a few years ago.
Yeah.
Jamie Vardy was in a position where he was in the lower leagues, and look what happened. He's just won the Golden Boot in the Premier League. I think he has anyway.
Benoit?
We've got on the chat again, Clayton Edwards down here said if McGeady sorted his attitude out, if that is what the problem was, because again, it's all speculation, and so McGeady wanted to stay. What about up front then? Madison, McGeady, O'Brien. Would that be tasty?
I wouldn't drop Maguire for McGeady, personally. No, I think McGeady. I don't know. Nobody really knows exactly what went on there, but there's got to be some kind of a rift, I would expect now, between Phil Parkinson and him. So unless Phil Parkinson goes, I can't see him actually starting any games.
Well, we said. I mean, we've said on past shows here how we can't really see McGeady playing again under Parkinson. If the new owners come in and you know it's a clean slate and they get another manager and stuff like that, then who knows? I don't know. Mad mistake.
Right, allegedly, it was Donald who wanted McGeady out and forced Parkinson to do the dirty work. That's allegedly, mind. So if the new owners come in and Parkinson hasn't got an issue with McGeady, I think McGeady would be good to come off the bench last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Can we quickly jump in then before because we're into the last sort of 5 or 6 minutes now. The salary cap. Apparently, Michael, you got some news on it, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it was a tweet from Mark Donnelly. So go and follow him and find Mark Donnelly on Twitter. He works at the Echo, I think. Apparently, the quote was PFA. I'm guessing I don't know what that's. I can't remember what that stands for. There's great that they're gravely concerned that any cap that's brought in will be unlawful and unenforceable. They've encouraged the EFL to further discussions and consider alternative proposals. So make that what you want to.
I haven't heard a lot about it. I've been away from the news, to be honest. But am I right to assume that if this goes ahead, it's due to come in the next few weeks or something? Is that right? Somebody put me right on that.
Sometime
Anybody?
this.
I think it might just before the start of the new season. I think. literally
Let's face it, if it's unlawful, it won't go through because some clubs will obviously take legal action. Clubs like Sunderland, who
But if it's unlawful, then how do they then get away with it in other sports? Because don't rugby league or something have a salary cap system? So I think if they wanted to bring this in, I think that's what they would sort of compare it to, to try and get it through. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it, to be honest.
I think I personally think it's a bit unfair, really. You've got two completely different size clubs. Like you've got like Sunderland with the 48, I know we don't get 48,000 fans, but you've got a big stadium with lots of fans, and you've got little tiny clubs with hardly any fans. You can't really expect them to be running on the same parameters. It's a bit like, I know Formula One did caps, but you can't have like Mercedes having the same financial as.
Yeah, but how is salary capping any different to financial fair play? It's only like to stop the Man Cities of this world and that to try and make it a bit fairer. Surely that's the same idea as the salary cap. It's so where does it differ from?
Well, I do like the idea. I've always thought it should have been done a long time ago, maybe in the 80s, 90s. The cap should have started way back then. To do it now, it's going to be so difficult to try and attract players from the Championship on a salary cap. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to make it much more harder to get better quality players to come to us, in my opinion.
The thing is it's the clubs like us, and I'm not saying we're a rich club because far from it, but we have the potential to bring in big revenues. So of course, naturally, clubs like us are going to probably complain about it. Michael, you want to get in there?
Well, I think for good reason. I think clubs like Sunderland will want to, because if we can't attract better players than 9/10 of this league, then what hope have we really got of getting out of it? Because we should be attracting be able to attract better players. It's like going, right, I'm expecting Manchester United to be, or even better Liverpool to be an equal footing to, I don't know, Brighton and Hove Albion, for instance. It's not comparable. For me, FFP has I can get the concept.
FPP, you mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah, definitely. I might as well mix them. I get the idea and the concept behind FFP. I just think that
FPP.
Fine. Fine.
BBC.
ABC.
ITV.
MFI.
Yeah, the idea behind the
FTM.
I agree with the concept of financial restrictions that are in place, but for me, all it does in the Premier League, for example, is stop anyone competing with the top six. Stops anyone from the traditional big six. Leicester and Wolves could be the exception to that, but like for most part, it doesn't. What chance has anyone got of trying to achieve better? For me, I get it. I do get why a salary will be introduced. In theory, it's supposed to stop people from overspending beyond their means. If that's the case, then Sunderland, can you get all these fantastic players before the salary cap's introduced? Then it doesn't affect work. Do it then.
You having your say there, Michael. Go on. Get on your soapbox. Right then, we're basically out of time, fellas. We didn't get to mention, somebody mentioned on the chat about possibility of 5 subs you can use next season. I don't know how true that is.
It's great.
And we can discuss that next week. And people are now asking about the capacity of the ground when they allow fans back in. Will it be 12, 15,000 and socially distance and stuff like that? So we will get onto that. We'll mention that next week. Go on, Michael, quickly.
Very quickly, when you said about the capacity, I think the Sunderland Echo said that was planning to reopen the Premier Concourse, I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's happening.
Well, that would make sense. That would make sense if they're going to do social distancing. Look, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Massive thank you to Macam Tweets and Macam FC for joining us, for standing in. From myself, Wee Philly, from the Mad Mistake, from Jacob Kirkbride, Michael Bowers. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Totally free to do so. And keep watching, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks very much. We'll see you. Bye.
Adios.